All right, hello everybody. It is Masters Week. It's been a long time since I've put a YouTube video up, so I figured instead of typing everything out, I'll do the lazy man's method and kind of explain everything in a YouTube video. I have a free 15-minute one here, so hopefully it does not last any longer than that. If it does, I'll just go into a part two. But I'm just going to go through the email that I'm going to send out very shortly that you'll see, like the YouTube links right here once I generate them. But here's our defending champions of the Masters. I won the championship flight. We have Big Joe won first flight and Steele won second, and that was at Galen Hall last year. That was actually our second major of the year, so it's kind of weird here where we're just running back-to-back Masters right now. Here are the starting times. So it was a very good turnout. We ended up with 11 in the first flight, so I have that color-coded in white. Okay, those guys are going to play the white tees. 4 in the second flight. Those are highlighted in yellow, playing the yellow tees. And then 12 for championship flight, playing the blues. And you can see down here, our rules are the 18-hole individual stroke play. Now, we are a little more lax. It's not like your traditional super serious, like a county event or anything like that. We do allow you to roll a ball in the fairway, and I'm making it a grip length. The main reason I make it a grip length in the fairway is because we count fringe as fairway, and I don't want people taking a club length on the fringe to make your have your putt be a little bit easier. Okay, so just a grip length in the fairway. Our main reason for that is just to get out of like divots and shit spots. Okay, and that should be plenty to get you out of that. Same thing in bunkers. Where do I have bunkers at? Bunkers rake in place within a grip length. When we go to these different courses, I have absolutely no idea what their bunker condition is like. We don't need anybody playing out of footprints. Hitting out of bunkers are hard enough, so grip length, rake in place there. No gimmies, okay? Your ball has to hit the bottom. Please, if it's 12 inches, don't pick it up, because then the group behind you sees you pick it up and then they freak out. They don't know how long that putt is. It's not that fucking hard. Just hit the bottom of the cup 18 times. No stroke and distance. So if you hit it out of bounds in the white stakes, doesn't matter that it's out of bounds. We just go up there where it entered, take a penalty stroke, and drop. That applies if you hit it in fescue. I think Iron Valley definitely has some fescue. So if you can't find your ball in there, wherever it went in, or if you're just like losing a ball that shouldn't be lost, just you and your opponents agree where it was, take a penalty, and move on. So none of that stroke and distance shit. We did that in the early majors, and that just became a massive pace of play headache. Out of bounds in golf shouldn't even exist to begin with. So this is my idea of a perfect setup competition round of where you can roll it a little bit into fairways and bunkers and no stroke and distance. And of course, no gimmies. Entry fee. And none of this has to be paid beforehand. Okay. This all goes on the dick list at the end of the year. Okay. But just so you're aware, your Twilight account will be billed $21, and 10 of that goes to person your flight. I'll show that below. 10 of that goes to CTPs and skins. So what I usually do is $20 for the par threes. And then the rest of it will be for skins. So if I do some quick math, we have 27 people. That's $540 minus the 80 in skins is going to be $460. So we'll have $460 in the skins pot. No, that's not right. Sorry. Only 10 goes to CTPs and skins. So 270 minus the 80 is 190. So we'll have 190 in the skins pot, and that will just be divided up based on how many skins there are. The Scrolf app does live skins. I'll show you that below. And then the extra $1 goes to the live scoring. Okay, so when I have this live scoring system, we've used it in the past for Ryder Cups, for the majors. It's absolutely awesome. It charges me $1 per golfer. So I just put that extra dollar on there that comes off of your Twilight dick list. I always get this question every year about playing different flights. Actually, this year I haven't got it yet, but I'll explain it anyway. We play different tees in different flights to try to make CTPs and skins as fair as possible. Obviously, the better players are going to have a bigger advantage no matter what. But if you're talking about playing the Island Green par 3, if you're playing it from 100 to 120 to 150, you know, that makes a substantial difference between those yardages. And that also goes for par fives and such. You know, if you're playing it shorter, that should help the other flights, even though not quite as good of players. That should negate that, and you know, it's never going to be perfect, but that's the main reason I do the different tees, just to make things as fair as possible. Betting, I'll get to the betting stuff below. But as always, you know, it's not like I'm taking this money for betting. It's going to, you can see here, I got to buy trophy plaques for the winners. Our CTP proximity signs, like those cost some money. And then, of course, the big one is the end of the year party at Red Lion. All this money, even if you lose, is going back to the league. So it's not like taking anything. Yes, some of the odds might suck at times, but that's the reason why. That really helps me pay for a lot of the extra stuff that we have going on. So, you know, when you're betting, just think of it as, you know, that's a way for you to help make a donation to the league. And of course, you still have a chance of winning as well. Here's our past champions. So we started running these majors in 2017 because we boycotted the county events because they were being run so poorly. So we made our own events. So this is now going to be the 7th annual Masters. Okay, so we've played 2 of each from this year. You can see the past winners. We have hosted 1 major at Iron and Valley. That was in 2020, right here. And that yardage is actually not even accurate. I should probably change that, because remember, this was a whole clusterfuck when we showed up, because I had the championship flight playing the blacks, the first flight playing the blues, and the second flight playing the whites, but then we showed up and there was no black tees out, so it screwed everything up. So this year I'm not even taking the risk. That's why I didn't put blacks for championship flight, because I know the blacks are on their scorecard, but I don't think they ever put them out. So that 7,000 yards that we played in 2020 is definitely not accurate. It's probably about what we're going to play in the blues this year, like 63, 6,400, like nothing crazy. So the last time we played a major here was the Open in 2020. Bailey shot a 1 under 71 to win first flight. Soup shot an 8 over 80 to win first flight. You can see that's probably the yardage that championship played, actually. And why can I not move over? Where's my scroll bar? That's stupid. Let's see. Oh, there we go. And this was the Conroy downtown double year. It's the year he won at Iron Valley and Golden Oaks. He shot an 88. So I mean, those are probably scores you can around expect to be the winning, because I'm pretty sure those were the where we are playing the same tees, even though those are exactly not accurate yardages. But I'm not going to spend too much time on there. That's on the email. So if you want to dive deeper into all of our past champions, you can certainly do that. And I just don't understand why there's not a scroll bar at the bottom of this email. It would just make the most sense in the world, but they don't have it. Okay, second flight. We got 4 golfers. I was a little bit afraid early in the week that I was not going to have enough players for second flight, but foursome, plenty. I think we actually only had a foursome for the Open last year at Pine Meadows. So we have Gallagher, Tony, Doc, and Matt Murph. As you can see with the odds that I made, I think it's going to be pretty tight. They're going to have a good time playing together. There's their average scores. Matt Murph hasn't played a Twilight yet this year. That's why I made him 4-1. I made Gallagher 2-1. I think he's got a slight advantage if I look at past results. Although Doc, as I go over here to 2022, Doc was our Open champion at Pine Meadows last year, as you can see. Second place there would have been Tony. And here was the Masters at Galen Hall. Nobody came in the top 3. How I have this set up is I highlighted in yellow if it's a win, and I highlighted it in orange if they have a top 3. So for Gallagher, he came in 4th last year at Galen Hall, T2 at Golden Oaks. So I made him 2-1. Also, and you got to think, when I set these odds too, it's sometimes not necessarily who I think is the favorite. I also consider how much money each person is going to have on them. So I think I'm going to get the most money on Gallagher. In that case, I also think he's probably the favorite. So having him at 2-1, then I have Doc and Tony at 3-1, and Matt Murph at 4, just because, like I said, I haven't seen him play in Twilight this year, so I'm not exactly sure how he is playing. And here is where your purse money is going. So $10 from each golfer goes to the purse, so that's $40. First place is going to win $30, get the trophy for the year, and an automatic Ryder Cup berth. Some of you that's not really important to, because you've played tons of rounds, you're probably already qualified for the Ryder Cup. But for some people who haven't been playing a lot of Twilight, winning that major can get you just an automatic berth that you don't even have to worry about how many rounds you play. And then second place is $10. First Flight, great turnout for First Flight this year. Had 11 guys, $110 in this pot. I usually don't do this, but I kind of, this flight, as I was setting the odds, I'm like, wow, this is really close. I don't really know who, like, anybody could win this. So I just started like ranking the odds. I do think Carson is the favorite at 1-1. He's the only person that has an average score under 80. He played first major last year. He came in third. You can scroll over and see what one that is for you. That would be the Masters at Galen Hall. He came T3 out of 11. And the thing I did want to say too, as you're looking at these, there's some people who bounce between flights. Like Mambo's a perfect example here. So Mambo usually plays in second flight based on his score. His average score is a little better this year. So if you see like a -2 after it, that means he competed in the second flight for that tournament. So all of his you're gonna see are -2. Like Steele's actually one that bounces back and forth. So if you look at Steele, his should be he played in second flight. I think I actually need to change a couple of these too. He played in second flight in 19, and actually both his majors are second flight. So let me put a -2. That's what's nice about doing this video. I can like proofread my this one. He came in second to Cuffy as well. Can proofread some of my stuff. So yeah, as you're just looking through, some people bounce back and forth between flights, and that's how I denote it. If you see like nothing, like T2 out of 8, they're a first flight player. You know, all of those are first flight. If you see like a -2 or Dash Championship or something, that you know they play in a different flight. Let's go down to the next one. As I can see here, I'm definitely going to need to break this into 2 parts already, because I only have 2 minutes remaining for this recording. I made Luke Ryder second at 2-1. Schnecky 3-1, Steele 4, Doug 5, Mambo 6, Allen 7, Gower 8, and then I have Jake Belts and Steve Ryder at 10. Jake and Steve were the 2 guys that decided to play up. They were, based on their average scores, you can see they were supposed to be in second flight, but they declared themselves up. So yeah, overall, I think I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. I mean, Carson, I think, is probably going to take the most money. Doug always takes a lot of money in these things, so I made him 5-1. And you can see there's a lot of, let me break down the winners here. We got Doug won the 2018 Open at Rich Valley. Steele won, and like I said, these are both second flights. So he won the Masters and the past 2 second flight Masters. Actually, he won. Didn't even realize that you're back to back there, Steele. So wow, this is pretty crazy. Doug is the only person in this flight who has won a previous major in first flight. So that goes to show you there, wide open. You can see you got lots of top threes. I mean, this is Mambo here. Mambo just top threes the second flight all the time. He's moving up. So you guys can make the judge what you think there of, you know, who is going to win with some, you know, can find some good value with some of those odds. So $110 is their purse, with 50 going to the winner, 30 going to second, 20 to third, and 10 to fourth. So I got 30 seconds here left in this video, so I am going to wrap this one up, and then I will catch you guys in a part 2 talking about championship flight and a couple other things. So hopefully see you in the next video in a little bit.